a single mysterious about to become a symbol of hope and unity. November 9th, 1989 began like any other night in Berlin, cold, quiet, and heavy with the weight of division that had defined the city for decades. The streets were dimly lit, and most Berliners settled into their routines, unaware that history was about to unfold before their eyes. But everything changed in an instant when Schabowski's unexpected words crackled over the airwaves, electrifying the city and sending shockwaves through every home. The news spread rapidly, confusing, almost unbelievable. At first, only a handful dared to approach the border crossings, their faces tense with uncertainty. Was this a misunderstanding or a trap? Nobody knew for sure. Checkpoint, Officer Harold Yeager, fearing the outbreak of violence and chaos, made a decision that would change history. He ordered the barriers to be opened, letting the people through. The gates swung wide, and a tidal wave of Berliners surged forward, crossing freely for the first time in decades. Laughter, tears, and shouts of joy filled the night air as disbelief became to celebration. East and West Berliners future. To truly grasp the overwhelming joy of that historic night, you must first understand the deep pain and hardship that came before it. The story of the Berlin Wall is not just about concrete and barbed wire, it's about the lives it shattered and the dreams it put on hold. On August 13th, 1961, Berlin was split in half. Barbed wire snaked through neighborhoods, windows were bricked up, and families were torn apart in a matter of hours. The city that had once been whole was suddenly divided, and the shock was immediate and profound. Friends and relatives became unreachable, separated by a wall that cut through streets, parks, and even cemeteries. People who would see each other every day were now forced away from the distance and touch and embrace. The emotional toll was immense. Children grew up without grandparents, mothers were split apart, and families found themselves on opposite sides, unable to live as they seemed impossible. Letters were censored, rewritten. Visits, when allowed, were rare and always supervised by stern border guards. Every meeting was shadowed by fear and uncertainty. West Berlin thrived in freedom, its streets alive with color and commerce. But just a few meters away, East Berliners lived under constant surveillance, surrounded by propaganda, and watched by the ever-present eyes of the state. The wall was officially called the Anti-Fascist Protection Network, but everyone knew it was a prison, designed to keep people in and not threats out. Watchtowers and armed guards made escaping nearly impossible. Despite the vast network of informants bred fear and suspicion, neighbors, friends, and family members could be listening, and trust was a rare commodity. Yet, despite the danger, people found ways to resist. waiting, hoping, and never giving up on the dream of change. Each year, the longing for freedom only grew stronger. Their longing for connection, for family, and for freedom fueled the events of 1989. The world watched as Berliners gathered, hands joined, hearts full of hope, ready for this time to turn. The fall of the wall was more than just a moment. It was the release of decades of military occupation and determination. It was the moment when the city and its people were finally made whole again. The Berlin Wall was more than a line. It was a fortress. What began as barbed wire became a 12-foot concrete barrier, topped with a slippery pipe. Behind it lay the death strip, raked sand, floodlights, spikes, tripwires, and anti-vehicle trenches. Over 300 miles manned by armed forces, loomed over the city. East Berliners lived under constant reminded daily of for freedom. Days were numbered. TV screens, East Berliners rushed to the war. There was no call to action, just thousands acting on hope. People approached the guards not with anger or questions. The guards, nervous and confused, had to decide for themselves. The government's attempt to backfired spectacularly. The day on the wall was violence. A simple question: is it really over? The wall's fate was sealed by a history turned on a single, unscripted answer. The fall of the Berlin Wall sent shockwaves across Europe. The Iron Curtain was be the same. After the wall, the world changed dramatically. The threat of superpower conflict faded, replaced by hope for cooperation. Eastern Europe faced tough transitions. Freedom brought both opportunity and hardship. Economies struggled, unemployment soared, and uncertainty advanced. In Germany, reunification was costly and complex. Cultural and economic divides to bridge. The wall of the still to be done. Decades later, the fall of the Berlin Wall remains a symbol of freedom and resilience. It's a story of ordinary people changing history through peaceful action. The wall's legacy warns us how easily societies can be divided. cobblestones trace the wall's path.